ThelonelyDiaries has a tablet. ThelonelyDiaries has a tablet now, guys. I've got a tablet. Look at my cool little tablet. So what's going on, guys? I got the Lonely Diaries on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. All right, it's been a fun, long day here, in my neck of the woods, over on my side. Let's see if anybody shows up here, guys. I haven't done a live in a couple of days. Miss doing these. I gotta get back to doing these. I gotta take these more seriously, guys. Gotta take YouTube more seriously. All right, guys. Let's do the retouch and let's do a little clip. Yeah. So this is where I keep my notes. Take all these kind of notes here. Got a cool looking Star Wars right there. A little Star Wars thing right there. Star Wars. Guys, I've been taking a lot of notes lately. Who does this? Who does like a little journaling, a little note taking? Who does that? Nobody here uses it. What happened? What's going on? This is why I need to go back to doing these lives. My channel is gonna hurt if I don't get back to doing these lives. What's going on, guys? I'm gonna get my book. See if I can read a couple of. If I can read a chapter or something. Let's say I could read this. Oh, I got one person in here. Thanks, dude. Whoever you are. We're gonna read a book here real quick. Gotta go to chapter 5. This book is about a scarecrow. Chapter 5. A regular farm scarecrow. If the trip to town had been fast, the trip back was even faster. When he had made it home, David had thrown his bike into the shed and sprinted through the house, up the stairs, and into his room, slamming the door behind him. His mind was totally jumbled, a mixture of confusion and fear. But what could he do? Who could he talk to? He was pretty convinced that now there was a real danger close by. Two men had connected his house with two men connected to his house had been there and lost their tongues. And then his dog disappeared somehow. Even if it had nothing to do with the scarecrow coming to life, there was something going on that had frightened these two men, leaving both speechless and one in a coma. David sat through dinner in silence, barely touching his food, his mind preoccupied with the scarecrow. He still hadn't said anything to anyone. Well, at least we can all sleep in tomorrow, said Mrs. Davis. Thank God for that. That rooster was beginning to drive me crazy, added Mr. Davies. David looked up, not quite understanding the significance of the conversation. Well, someone better go and get rid of it before it starts smelling up the place, Mrs. Davis insisted. Honey, this is a farm. One more bad smell is hardly going to make a difference. Mr. Davis replied with a broad grin on his face. I'll figure it out later. We doing? Don't be afraid to comment. I'm from the U.S. I'm over here in the U.S. and I'm reading a book. Where are you from, dude? Rohan! Is your real name Rohan? I'll figure out later he had to quickly seeing the skull appearance on his wife's face. David started to pay attention. What are you talking about? He asked. What's going on? That's crazy. Christina, how you doing? I'm reading a book here. Sarah chimed in. David, where has your head been all day? Sometimes you don't have a clue. Your dad found a rooster dead beside the barn this morning. The poor thing must have just been too old. Probably fell off the top of the barn. Either that or your dad threw his boot at it. At 5 in the morning, Mrs. Davis explained. Where is it now? David asked, standing up. Same place, don't worry, I'll figure it out at the dinner, Mr. Davis said, seeing concern in his son's face. No, I haven't read that. I'm not a big reader. I'm trying to be. This is me trying. But it was more than concern on David's face. David knew he had to see the bird. He had to check something out. After dinner, he immediately ran out of the kitchen and across the yard to the barn. What's gotten into David all of a sudden? Mr. Davis asked. He hated the noise. The darn... I'm just not reading it right now. I don't know what's going on, guys. Christina, are you subscribed? Thank you for being normal and not commenting random stuff. Are you a creator yourself? A lot of people are. Are you a creator? You make content. I love doing these lives. I'm trying to. I used to do them all the time. My shampoo. I had the 3-in-1 thing. You know, and it was like 4-in-1. That's what I used to use back in the day. David turned the corner of the barn and immediately saw the dead bird on top of an old fence. David looked up to the top of the barn. The bird was positioned directly under the spot of the roof where he could be found every morning at sunrise. Well, where he used to be found. Maybe Mom was right, David thought. The rooster probably fell off the roof. So something happened to the rooster. I think the rooster got attacked by the scarecrow. So the scarecrow is pretty much doing whatever he wants. But the more David thought about it, the more he knew it didn't sound right. Birds don't fall off roofs. They don't? David looked to his left, and less than 20 yards away stood the figure that was becoming more and more sinister. The scarecrow. There it stood, harmless looking enough, but intimidating at the same time. That's tough. Scarecrow looking tough out there. David looked again at the dead rooster lying in front of him. David stepped forward and leaned down. He picked up the stick and prodded the bird. It was dead, all right. Super dead. The rooster's head was hitting underneath his body. David used the stick to pry the head out. He flicked the stick and the whole bird rolled over. Wait, what? The rooster's head was visible now. The head and neck were limp, the way David had seen many times when his dad had decided he was going to be chicken for Sunday dinner. I'm reading, it's a little scary, um, scary little tiny book about a kid facing a scarecrow. Scarecrow is messing with his family, messing with his town. So yeah, it killed his dog. Now it killed his rooster. So David's in trouble. Yeah. Why do they always use barns? Like, why do they always go out there and try to make that seem like scary? Like being out in the country scary or something? There's a lot of stories like that, right? A lot of movies like that. Like, oh, they're out there in the woods. Better be scary. Like, what's scary about the woods? Where am I? His dad had shown David how to kill a chicken by wringing its neck and then even suggested he try it. David had always declined. He thought it looked so cruel. This rooster looked at it as if it had died at the same way. Its head and neck were what? Contorted and twisted. There was only one more thing to do. David had to look inside the bird's mouth. Why do you gotta look inside the mouth? Like, what? You have to know. He had to know if the tongue is missing. He's trying to see if the tongue is missing. Because the scarecrow likes taking the tongue out of, like, whatever it messes with for some reason. Like, I don't like that part. Like, it's like, wait, why the tongue? And then they can't talk. That's annoying. Like, it's a little annoying. He had to know if this incident could be tied to all the other events. David dropped the stick and kneeled on the ground. With one hand, he grabbed the bird by the neck and lifted it up. With his other hand, he pried open his beak. David knew exactly what to expect this time. There was no shock, but it was fear. The rooster's tiny tongue was gone. Emphasis on the tiny. Like, why? David, what on earth are you doing? Put that thing down, Mr. Davis shouted as he turned the corner. David was still kneeling on the ground and holding the bird by the neck. When he heard his dad, he threw it to the ground. What has gotten into you, David? That thing is putrid, added Mr. Davis. Why is his name David Davis? David Davis? What's up with this book? Davis stood up, frightened and confused. Mr. Davis could see there was something wrong. What is it, David? You look like you've seen a ghost. He was only an old rooster. That thing was a darn nuisance. I'm almost glad he passed. That's crazy. That's... Go ahead. Oh my God. I'm almost glad he passed. Mr. Davis said, picking the bird up and throwing it into a garbage bag he had bought from the kitchen. So true. Yes. picking the bird up and throwing it into a garbage bag. Yeah, bro, from the kitchen. David couldn't get any words out. He wanted to tell his dad that this was the third time today alone he had seen or heard about somebody or something losing his tongue. But Mr. Davis had already dismissed Morrison's note as the work of a madman. He certainly couldn't. He certainly wouldn't take old Jonesy seriously, and the dead rooster was not going to convince him of much either. David couldn't say anything yet, but he was so scared. He had to do something. He felt there was real danger on the farm. So this guy's getting attacked by a scarecrow, and he's by himself. Like nobody believes in him. Nobody. They all think he's crazy. So Mr. Davis disappeared around the back of the barn, where most of the farm waste was dumped, carrying the dead rooster. David looked again at the wooden figure in the field. He was really frightened now, but he had to do it. He had to take a closer look at the scarecrow. David waited by the barn until he heard the noise of his dad returning to the kitchen. It was beginning to get dark now, and the kitchen lights were beginning to spread across the duskiness of the yard. Once David heard the kitchen door close, he approached the wooden fence separating the yard from the overgrown field. He looked back towards the house. He could clearly see his mom in the kitchen cleaning up and his dad sitting at the table. Somehow, David felt a little bit less frightened and more secure knowing they were close by. He's trying to go see the scarecrow for some reason. He's trying to go look at the scarecrow up close. That's what's going on. He climbed over the fence. The grass and the weeds in the field stretched up to David's knees. As David struggled to put one foot in front of the other, he wondered again why his dad still hadn't worked on this field. It's too overgrown. His mom had certainly nagged him enough about it. She had continually said that she was fed up with looking out her kitchen window and at the overgrown land in front of her. David looked up. The darkening figure was now only a few yards away. David inhaled deeply, as if trying to hold his breath as he approached. Finally, he was there. David let out a long gasp of air, almost in relief, trying to calm his nerves. He didn't know what he had expected to see, but as he scanned the wooden man in front of him, he could see nothing for the moment that was out of the ordinary. David was no expert on scarecrows, but this one looked like all the others he had seen on farms before. It looked like a regular farm scarecrow. Wooden head, broom handle arms, old suit, hat, and plenty of straw. Lots of straw. In fact, for such an old scarecrow that nobody had paid any attention or looked after, it was in remarkably good shape because it's haunted. Because it's haunted. The thing is haunted. The scarecrow is haunted. That's why it looks good. It didn't look as old as it had to have been. The old lady that sold them the farm had briefly mentioned the scarecrow, saying that he had been there when she bought the farm. Oh hell, that's scary. That's scary. The scarecrow been there, man. Oh, it's gonna do something to this kid. David was beginning to feel better. The incidents of the last few days were beginning to disappear in his mind as he looked at this unremarkable figure in front of him. David reached out to straighten the scarecrow's hat. He must have been a little nervous still as his fingers twitched and the hat went tumbling to the ground. Oh no! David leaned down and picked up the hat. He was just about to put it on top of the scarecrow's. Wait. No. I'm gonna skip that part. What you. This scarecrow's bald wooden head. When he noticed that there was some writing engraved on the top of the scarecrow's head, David stood on his toes as he tried to make out the writing, but he struggled to get high enough to read the words clearly. He looked around. It was getting very dark now. He could just make out the outline of a small pile of bricks a couple yards away. David hurriedly lifted 2 or 3 bricks to the side of the scarecrow, putting one on top of the other. He stood up on the top brick, standing a little shakily and holding the stretched arm of the scarecrow. Okay. David could now see the words. David read silently and slowly to himself. What is it? Oh, no. There's a picture. There's a picture. I'll show you guys. That's the scary. It's kind of scary. It's really sick. It's kind of sick looking. Let's read what it says on top of the scarecrow. This land is yours for you to scare. All beings who perchance do dare to disturb or threaten without pity this house's peace and prosperity. What? Prosperity. What? This land is yours for you to scare. All beings who perchance do dare to disturb or threaten without pity this house's peace and prosperity. That don't even rhyme like that. That don't rhyme like that. This land is yours for you to scare. All beings who perchance do dare to disturb or threaten without pity this house's peace and prosperity. It don't rhyme. It don't rhyme. Baby's feet slid from the top of the brick and he fell to the ground. He got up and immediately ran to the fence and leapt over in one movement. He ran as fast as his feet would carry him toward the safety of the kitchen light. Chapter 6. Believe me. I said believe. I said believe. The Scarecrow's scary. This book is scary. It really is. I'm gonna have to cut this piece off. Would you like me to read the next chapter? I could read another chapter, but I kind of don't want to finish it too soon. I feel like I'm almost at the middle now. Almost. I guess I could read more. It's a good book. It's good, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Or we can play with the iPad now. Let's see if we can find. Let's see if we can find. Let's see if we can find. Let's go and read. Let's get some Let's get a let's get a movie. Boxing? Devil May Cry? Guitar band? Let's do guitar band. Doing guitar band right now. Downloading guitar band, guys. I'm gonna rock out. I'm gonna rock out right now, guys. On a Wednesday night. What's going on? Somebody gonna comment something. Last comment was a long time ago by somebody named Christina. I was reading a book. Now I'm doing the tablet because let me see what I could. Well, this is gonna take a while to download. I got a cool looking tablet. Got a cool looking tablet, man. Android tablets have gone better, man. They've gotten better over the years. They used to be so sad. Android tablets used to be super sad. So sad. This feel like they used to feel so cheap, right? Who's old enough to remember that? Like, Android tablets were terrible. They were so terrible. And I don't think I don't remember the last time I had a tablet. I don't think I've ever had a tablet. But I'm really enjoying having one right now. It's a Samsung A11. Who's got a tablet? Is a person watching got a tablet? Let me see. Now we're gonna rock out with this guitar band. Guitar band. I'm gonna rock out. Rock battle. I already messed up, yo. I already messed up. Let me see if I could flip it over. Flip it over and play right here. Wait, I'm trying to figure it out. How can I do this? I think like this. Oh yeah! Man, I messed up. Oh yeah! I need to lower this. I'm not trying to get copyrighted. Perfect. This is perfect. Oh, I missed. Oh, come on. Yeah. Uh-huh. Here we go. What do you mean? What is that? Let's buy a guitar. Ooh, damn, bro. Guys on the Lonely Diaries. Dude, what happened? Oh no. We're gonna have to fix that, guys. I'm so sorry. Oh, come on. Anyways. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the Lonely Diaries. I'm gonna buy a guitar right now. Buy a guitar right now.